We're in the kitchen tonight, but we're not cooking with Kaya. She's not available tonight. But we got something good to cook up for you. Um, Thank you for every subscriber,
Yes.
everyone who's commented, liked, shared.
Absolutely.
We greatly appreciate it. If this is your first time tuning into an episode of Marriages for Grown Folks,
Yes.
what can they expect?
Honesty about what a relationship really looks like, tools to help your relationship be better, probably some laughter because we are just going to be who we are.
Got to bring it.
Transparency.
Yes. Anyone? Come on, hit one more. I feel
I
like you got one
know.
more.
I'm like, and a lot of love.
Yes. So we're gonna give you 6 signs of emotional immaturity in the relationship.
And the individuals that are in the relationship.
Right. So when we give these points, we are talking to the said emotional immature individual. This is for conversation purposes. This is for self-reflection purposes. This conversation is also so that you can possibly see an area that might need work. That sounds country.
No, it doesn't.
That might need work.
Might need improvement.
There we go. That's sounds country. So,
can I also say this?
Yes.
Although we are talking about emotional immaturity, you don't have to stay that way. You can do the work and become like more mature in your emotions.
Okay.
But we want to highlight areas that need improvement so that the relationship can thrive.
Yeah. I saw this article or this meme or this clip from it's restored.woman.
Okay.
So I saw this and I came across it, and I think that, to your point, why emotional maturity is so essential for relationships, because it helps to build. A lot of these points that she listed and that we're going to deal with tonight are destructive to the relationship and destructive to the individual.
Right.
So speak to this. When you were single, tell us about why relationships bring out things that we might not have known that were in us in our singleness versus marriage.
Okay. So when we are single, there is no one there full time to challenge you on the things that are off with you, right? So like, say I meet you in passing, you may just give me a pass because you don't know me.
Oh, I'm trying to get the box.
Or you trying to get the box, true. Or you may challenge me and I blow it off because you don't know me. And then when I go home, I'm left to self-evaluate.
My cats.
And normally when we self-evaluate, we want to highlight what is good about ourselves and we don't want to acknowledge what is bad about ourselves.
Can I add this to that?
Yes.
Or to the negative, we over highlight what is negative.
Yes, we can be overcritical of ourselves. And sometimes when we're overcritical of ourselves, we still can't make the necessary improvement because we really like catapult ourselves into this place of depression.
So I'm going to give you all 9 of them. We're only going to deal with 6. I thought that these 6 were the most prevalent. And we have been at all 9 of these Jones. If you were from Philly, we would say Jones.
Okay.
Jawns. Jones.
That sounds country.
So I'm going to list them off to you, and then we're going to deal with the 6 that we're going to tackle tonight. What emotional immaturity looks like in relationships. Number 1, we're going back and forth. Okay. Getting defensive when you express emotions.
Number 2 is being passive aggressive.
Number 3, blaming you for issues or problems in the relationship.
Number 4 is having poor communication skills and being unable to express needs and emotions. Ooh, that's good.
Number 5, I think that's when we did it. Did we do that?
I think so.
Number 5, getting upset at you and shifting blame when they are the ones who did something wrong.
Okay, for everyone who doesn't know, that is the definition of gaslighting. So if you hear somebody say, "Why are you gaslighting me?" that is what they mean.
The individual, from what I remember, was in their own, I think, castle or establishment, and the lady was the individual who was being gaslit. The story goes, as I remember it, that the individual who owned the property, I think he was a man, he would dim the gas lights, the gas lighting in that place to make this woman feel that she was going crazy. And so he would dim the lights, and she would say, are the lights dim? He would say, no, you must be tripping. So the term gaslighting, from what I read last, came from that experience of that woman feeling like she was going crazy, but he was dimming the lights.
Manipulating the situation.
All right.
Gotcha.
I feel spicy tonight. I don't know. I just feel some.
Maybe
somebody
it's
give me
'cause
some
you're in the kitchen
tums.
with all the spices.
It might turn this guy. I just feel spicy tonight.
Okay.
Michael might be somewhere around us tonight. I might have brought my mic tonight. Number six, not being able to be accountable and now y'all know we're gonna deal with that one.
Absolutely. Number 7, taking boundaries as rejection. Boundaries are healthy, y'all.
Boundaries.
Every relationship should have them. But I do feel like some people see the word boundaries and it's like, oh, you don't trust me. Oh, you won't let me in. Boundaries are healthy.
You know, boundaries usually are yuck to people who want to manipulate or have selfish gain.
Or people who are toxic.
Okay.
They don't want to respect you.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have boundaries?
I do have boundaries with everybody.
Come on now. Even with your kids?
Everybody. Right. There are boundaries with everybody.
Just know for you. Number 9.
We got a front door, right? That's a boundary.
Okay.
But we also have a bathroom door and a bedroom door within that house. So although we live with these people, there are boundaries.
Even inside the house.
Even inside the house.
I'm going to run around this kitchen.
I'm just saying.
Are we at 9? Number 8.
No, number 8. Becoming defensive when they are corrected.
And number 9, receiving feedback as criticism.
Yeah, that's another.
I do think that feedback is criticism, but I like constructive
criticism. Yeah.
So let's jump into it. Let me pull our notes up tonight. Let us first start out by saying this, and I think you will agree.
Yeah.
She ain't seen my notes. We need each other.
Absolutely.
I can't.
Absolutely.
I'll pull the mic out.
One day we need to debunk this like man versus woman thing because we really need each other.
Economically,
yes.
Emotionally, sexually.
Yeah, so physically.
I'm about to pull this mic out.
And spiritually.
Spiritually.
Yeah. 2 is always better than 1.
You get out of my head.
I'm just saying. 2 is better than 1, y'all.
Bubba told Forrest, if you put your back up against mine, I'll put my back up against yours. That way we ain't got to put our heads in the mud.
That's right.
So with what is happening, even politically, economically, in our world, in our nation, 2 is better than 1.
Right. Let me also say this, because you brought up Forrest Gump, and I think that people be sleeping on that movie, right?
Talk to us.
Bubba Gump was the first person to receive Forrest when everyone else rejected him, built a relationship, told him his dreams while they were in the Army. Bubba Gump died, but Forrest Gump still financially freed his whole family and made them millionaires. I'm just saying.
Bubba's mama fainted when that check.
Okay, because it was more money than she had ever seen.
Wait a minute.
And took care of all of the siblings. So you're talking about everybody being set for life because he was willing to receive somebody, not judge them, and build a relationship.
You know, Bubba was MR too.
He was.
Now, I didn't really realize that until I became an adult. But Bubba gave him the plug.
He did.
Bubba gave him
told him what to do
on the strength of business.
Yeah, he told him what to do.
So if you are alone, you are living beneath your requirement for being a human.
Yeah.
No, biblically, it is not good for man to be alone.
Come on.
It's not good. So
not at all.
We need each other, not only romantically, but platonic relationships. Who's coming to your funeral if you're alone?
Ooh.
Who's gonna take you to the hospital if you get sick? If you're alone, if your battery dies, you're gonna have to call somebody to come give you. We need one another.
We do.
So it goes outside of just those that are in your household and those who are of your biblical persuasion. Those of you who are at the same location.
You can learn something from everybody if you are willing.
We get lost in that.
Okay.
So. Number one.
Emotional
I'll do number one.
maturity.
You do number two. Okay, number one, getting defensive when you express emotions. Now, I'm going to
Are you getting defensive, or the person you're telling your emotions to is getting
We're
defensive?
talking to the emotional, immature individual
Okay.
tonight. So it could get a little rough, but we're just passionate about the subject.
This is true.
These are behaviors that need to be and must be unlearned.
Yes.
These behaviors and qualities that we're going to list tonight will most likely require you to get some additional help outside of yourself, alternate eyes, someone that is safe and trusted and hopefully skilled and hopefully accredited in the area that we're dealing with.
AKA a therapist.
Yeah, buddy. That can help you, because a lot of the times when we believe someone knows our information and we don't trust them, we can decline it and deny it and avoid it and say, oh, you're just tripping, you're just jealous. But when you're sitting across the table or laying on that couch with somebody
that doesn't know
that
you,
don't know you,
and they still say those same words, then it kind of makes you reckon with yourself.
Okay. So getting defensive when you express emotions. I want to ask two questions that immediately came to mind when I started to look into this. And the first question is, how do you perceive yourself? How do you see yourself? How do you feel about you? That's true. Not the you that you portray to the public, not the you that you portray to social media, not the you that you portray to those who you believe is your community. But when no one is around and you look in the mirror at all of your rolls, your muscles, your thighs, your curves, your whatever you got,
your stretch marks, your dimples,
or the work that you have paid to get done. I just
your surgical incisions.
Okay, that's if it was high, it is high and lifted up. Whatever you see, and how you see, not just physically, but how do you see yourself? Why that question is important, because how you treat others, and how you treat yourself is a direct reflection on how we see us,
and how we feel about us,
and how we feel about us.
Yes, that right there.
The good,
the bad,
and the bad,
and
the indifferent.
Okay.
All three of I need my all three of them. So how you see
that's in my spice drawer is white.
I told you I was gonna have this. The mic was always around.
Oh my God.
So how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself, and how you feel about yourself is essential for every relationship you will ever in the history of your life come across. How you see yourself is going to come up. Okay, Michael, I'll put it
how
back.
you feel about yourself. So if you hate yourself, there is no way you can love another. Look, now he's struggling with the mic, y'all.
Okay, question number two. This is on getting defensive when you express emotions. Number two, how do you perceive your partner? Now,
that's good.
I don't have time to get into a whole theological discourse on it, but if you are really a believer, and the love of God is really on the inside of you, whatever religion that you practice, it is going to emulate based on how you treat yourself and how you treat others. I got scriptures just going through my head right now, but you cannot say that you hate your brother and love God, because the scripture says the love of God is not in you.
Right.
So,
and how do you love someone you've never seen?
There you go.
And you can't love the person that's right in front of you.
Also in the word. Okay. You need, hold on, Michael. Say it again. Say it again.
How do you love someone that you have never seen? But you cannot love your neighbor that is right there with you.
How often do you see your brother?
Oh, daily. Every day.
Okay.
Every day.
I'll put Michael back. Let me just leave Michael out, because I feel like tonight
we're going to need the mic.
We're going to need the mic.
Okay.
So that's a good spot for us. So how do you perceive yourself? How do you perceive your partner? What is the relationship that you have with you? Those two questions.
Yeah.
Three questions.
If you don't know how to care for yourself, you definitely going to struggle caring for others. Just the basics. And some people say that that's so selfish, but it's really you don't have an understanding of self-care. Like, do you brush your teeth? Do you wash your face? Do you shower? Okay, if the answer is yes, then you're going to expect the people around you to do the same.
Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to be able to. And and even if it looks like you're taking care of someone else, right, and you're not taking care of yourself, that is not out of a pure. I question whether or not it's out of a pure place, right? Because it first must start with within.
Yeah, that's true.
So the motive. So I may be taking care of you, but the motive of which I'm taking care of you might not be pure and authentic,
or the quality of care may be subpar as
we got to move on.
Okay.
So be on that. If you don't love yourself, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to give it to someone else.
Yeah, I think we explained that.
Sure. All right, number 2.
Number 2, being passive aggressive.
Have we been here?
I am a communicator, so I literally, it scrapes my insides when somebody is passive aggressive because I'm like, just talk. Like, you got the floor. I make sure people can talk to me about any and everything. I just give people that liberty and that freedom with me. So I'm always like,
yep.
Just say it. Okay. So being passive aggressive, aren't always aware. Okay. So sometimes I try to, give a positive as well with it.
So what's up tonight?
Sometimes there may be something going on and you're not fully aware of it, or you haven't fully acknowledged that you feel that way about it. And so it comes out in your actions. So that is one way that we can be passive aggressive. It's kind of like your subconscious is trying to speak to your conscious mind saying, hey, there's a problem. It's like a little alarm. So your actions are proving that something's wrong, although your mouth and your brain is saying, no, ain't nothing wrong. So that's one way. Also, I feel like the longer somebody's passive aggressive, it kind of makes that other person resent them, especially when they've been giving them an option to communicate. Because you're like, okay, wait, aren't we a team? Aren't we building together? Aren't we supposed to be a unit? But you keep doing stuff like there's a problem. But then when I bring it up, it's like, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, it really can make your partner feel crazy because they're like, I know something is going on,
right,
but you keep telling me that it's nothing. Right. But I can feel it and I can see it in your actions and the way in which you're responding. So what is it? What would you say?
I think that it is a slow killer of relationships, and us as well. I always start with us, but in relationships that we've talked to and individuals that we've talked to, there is a lot of resentment in a lot of relationships. And I think that it can go on for so long that we really don't remember what it really started as.
Yeah, that's good.
What was the thing that I did as the emotional immature individual? What was the thing that I did to make you say, I don't want to fool with this nigga no more?
Right. And let me tell you one more danger, right? So when you have a tendency to be passive aggressive and not communicate, you leave all of these blanks that your partner is then filling in. So it may not even truly be the emotion that you had, but because you didn't communicate what you felt, you left your partner with nothing but a blank to fill it in. So I may be like, oh my God, he mad at me. And it's not even that. It may have been, I had a long day. I got a little stressed today and I'm just trying to process through that. But because that wasn't communicated and I'm only going off of actions, then that means now I'm left to fill in that blank.
Give an example of passive aggressive behavior in a relationship.
Okay, like are they into it or is just an outside source?
No, we into like me and you.
Okay.
I'm passive aggressive.
You're passive aggressive. Yeah. He was the passive aggressive one early on in a relationship. You would get silent, your intonations would speak, and then you would tell me nothing was wrong. And I'm like, but you're frowning. What do you mean nothing is wrong? Like your face is clearly communicating to me that you are upset about something, but you saying it's nothing. And I'm looking like, are my eyes not seeing what my eyes are seeing?
Which makes that individual question.
Right.
Okay, am I tripping?
Right.
Or is it really a problem?
Right.
But it's immature because we're not dealing with the situation head on.
Right.
We're dancing around it, which is immature because grown folks just hit it.
Right.
Timing is everything.
And I feel like when someone is being passive aggressive, they have a tendency to start nitpicking other little things that aren't really the issue. But because they're upset at their partner, now there's no grace and there's no mercy. So instead, I'm going to be like, oh my God, why you leave your shoe right there? Why you didn't make up your side of the bed? Why you leave water on the sink? Where normally that person would just extend grace. So normally that person would be like, oh, they must have been in a rush. Let me just get this little bit of water out.
Okay.
So there's several signs to show that something is going on, but they're saying, oh, no, I'm fine. I'm okay. It's good.
I can't hear nobody. Okay. Michael, that's excellent. So let's do number 3.
Mm-hmm.
You said aren't always aware.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they are aware.
Right.
And then we talked about it can build up long term.
Yeah.
Long term. And an example. Number 3, blaming you. This is the emotional immature individual. They will blame the other person for issues and problems in the relationship. Now, this is prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
This is prevalent. And I know that we can get stuck here for years.
Yeah.
There are people that have been together short term, mid-term, and long term that this item, number 3, blaming you. And so you mentioned pride earlier, and a lot of these will go back to that because and we got to define really how pride is built. Don't let us forget. Marcus is our engineer tonight. Thank God for Marcus. Don't let me forget about we got to describe how pride is built up and how it works, because it didn't just show up one day off of a watermelon truck. Something happened to build it. But we'll get to that. Watermelon truck. I hate Bell truck. Blaming you for issues or problem in the relationship. The reason why we can get stuck here for years upon years is because there are times where we are in defense mode.
Right.
And as we get hurt, we build up protective layers.
Right.
So they don't just go all up at once unless your toxicity is just on 1,000, but it goes brick by brick.
Yeah.
My wall goes up after every petty passive aggressive movement.
Right.
After every injury, there can a wall be built after every instance of that. And so when it's time to deal with the problem, if the emotional immature individual has built up a wall, it can't be my fault. I can't have no association with the reason why the relationship is in this state. It must be somebody else's fault. And so the reason why it's pride is because I don't want to even consider the fact that I have a part to play in.
I have a suggestion.
You have a suggestion.
I do, in regards to what you just said.
All right.
If you see that you have this issue, what I would say to do is both of y'all stand in front of the mirror and have that same argument.
Okay, what does that accomplish?
Because if you looking at yourself go off, it should stop you.
It should.
If you love the person you with, if you truly care about them, and you going off and you see yourself doing that and you continue to do that, you need to go get help.
All right.
Like, you need to go get medical help. You need to see a psychiatrist and you need to be on some pills. Because there's no way you can say you love somebody and then just tear them down like that and put all of the blame on them and not be willing to own any part of it.
So love is key?
Love is key.
All right. I put this down here. Everyone has actions and behaviors in the relationship. So everyone has work that they need to do. I don't believe one person is sole responsible for the entire state of the relationship. It's like blaming the person who dropped the ball on 4th down with 5 seconds to go and they lose the game. The whole entire loss is not on that individual that dropped the ball. It happened first quarter.
Yeah.
Everybody who played in first quarter got to take some responsibility. Everybody played in second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter.
Right.
And so when there is an emotional immaturity, there is a refusal to accept and acknowledge the emotionally immature individual, your contribution to where things are. I also want to say this, that practicing self, practicing it, not just doing it, not a one all. we'll tell the kids, you got to wipe the counters off, you got to wash the dishes, and they'll just do it like a blind person, and we'll come in and assess it. But this counter ain't been wiped off. They're doing it just to say that I did it, not for it to be clean.
Right.
So when you practice something, it becomes a way of life. It becomes a discipline that is built into your everyday workings. So self-accountability, it's got to be practiced. And then self-reflection. I think those are two different. We don't have time. And then love. If I really love myself, and if I really love this individual,
that's right.
I want to know what I have done to hurt you. We're going to get into apologizing later. So that's how I see that. That was number 3, blaming you for issues or problems in the relationship, throwing it back on that other, projecting.
Can I give a cheat code?
Cheat code.
Cheat code. If there is something that's off in the relationship, if you address it as, what can we do so this is better in our relationship, that person is going to be open to receive and open to communicate. That's just a simple, easy way to disarm.
It was so quick. I was getting ready to reach for the mic, but it was... Okay. So an example, he or she is toxic. My response to you would be, you married. There's something that you're getting out of it.
Because they did not become toxic when you married them. They were already toxic before. Just saying. That did deserve a mic.
So the sex is good, but they can't talk. Okay, you sampled it. Yeah,
you know
that hook. You got that hook. You got that hammer. So
you ate the cake before.
I can't hear nobody.
And you said it was good. So you overlooked all the calories that was in every slice, and now you're mad because it made you fat.
She's got 3 kids, and I don't want to be a stepdad. Well, she had 3 kids when you met her.
Oh, when you ran up in it, when you were sneaking in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Is it anymore?
Probably.
He don't have a car. Well, he didn't have a car when you met him.
Ooh, you was picking him up, taking him to every day.
I'm sorry.
You got any more?
I do, but I need to really chill out.
One more. Give us one more.
Still don't keep a clean house, but you was knocking it down in that dirty apartment where y'all met. So
with pin caps.
Okay, and then you went to her mama's house, and her mama's house was dirty. So apples come from apple trees.
Lord have mercy.
So what I'm saying is that these are funny, but I'm serious as high blood pressure at the Midnight Musical. The signs are there, and we really have to take ownership on the fact. I'm going to hold my own mic for this one. Let me fold it like they do in the quartet. You did not do your due diligence, and that's not the end of the world. It just means that now you're going to have to assess based on where you are and where this other individual is. How can we build in spite of this? Or is it a deal breaker? Now, some things are deal breakers. And if you are going to, if it is a deal breaker, then get some outside intervention. Sit with a therapist, accept your own responsibilities. And if it's just not fixable, stop. Oh, I almost cussed.
I know.
I feel a disrespectful profanity in this kitchen. Stop complaining about it.
And do something about it.
Do something about it. So can I?
Oh, that's the word.
This was the last episode. Let me put this microphone. If you're going to leave, then just
pack your bags and leave.
And if you're, wait a minute, I got another one.
And if you're going to stay, do not complain about the situation. Do something about it. Because that's the one that burned me up. You want to complain every time, and you know you're not going nowhere. Shut your mouth.
The eye is on.
Just be quiet.
Jesus. Okay.
I think that is so toxic. You're going to tear down the person you're supposed to be in covenant with to everybody else instead of doing the necessary things to build the relationship. That's sick. That's toxic. You need some pills.
If we were in church, the preacher would say, I don't know who this is for. I don't know who I'm preaching. But I hope that really helps somebody. You got to do something about it. And I don't think that we should start with the other person.
No, not
What did Michael say? Mike, come on.
I'm looking at the man in the mirror.
I got another song. Okay.
And I need to change my ways.
All right. We can't. That's why I didn't. This is why we couldn't do 9 of them. Then we just going to get stuck.
Because we'll get stuck.
It's been a while. It's been like 2 weeks.
That's true.
Okay, number 4.
I need to let you get water.
Number 4.
Woo. Having poor communication skills and not being able to express needs and emotions.
Yeah, you went off on this one earlier.
Okay. you are going to struggle to share what you are feeling if you do not know how to communicate, period. I mean, if you can't just simply say what you feel and what you think, honestly, let's go even deeper.
Okay.
If you struggle to communicate, you're going to struggle to find the words to express what you are feeling and thinking.
Yes.
So if your vocabulary is limited, if all you know is anger, if all you know is profanity, you are going to struggle in the relationship.
We're going to put a link to an emotion wheel.
Yes.
For this episode. In short, don't lose your thought. Emotion wheel, in the center of it, it has different layers to it, but in the center of this emotion wheel are the most common emotions: sad, angry, disappointed, just basic general emotions. Right. Embarrassed, and then outside of those four, you choose one of those general emotions. Let's say anger, and then it has three more choices for the emotion of anger.
Like shame, embarrassment, frustration.
To pinpoint it. Yeah. And then from one of those emotions, it gives you a more broader choice so that you can really pinpoint the real, true, foundational emotion. Yes. Specific to what you're feeling, not just the four general ones.
And let me say this, right? Sometimes you will feel like overwhelmed with that emotion and you may not be able to pinpoint it. So this can be a tool for someone who knows how to communicate as well. You don't have to just have a deficit in communication to use this emotion wheel, but it will expand it so that your partner can really understand what's going on with you. Because if you're saying every day, I'm sad, and it's really not that you're sad, it's really shame, it's really embarrassment. You know, there's so many, you may feel defeated, just so many other things where your partner can be like, oh, okay, wait. You don't just need a hug. Let's talk through why you feel like that. Well, what happened that embarrassed you today that made you come home feeling sad? That's a whole different conversation.
Yep.
Let me also say this. What has also become our enemy is this thing right here. See this phone? Because we would rather be on the phone than to set it down and say, oh, hi, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Generations before us could communicate a lot better because they were talking to people. They weren't sending a text message. They weren't hearting something. They weren't sharing a video. They were actually taking the time to talk.
Building.
Our communication has grown in so many different ways over 17 years.
If this was live, I would tell y'all to type in the comments what that mouth do.
Ooh. Okay.
Come on, don't stop.
No,
come on, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Honestly, find other ways to absorb information outside of your phone. They make books. It's a place called a library, and there's a reason. Because there are books everywhere. They have audibles where you can listen to books, where you can learn information. They have ebooks. There's several ways to get information and to expand your emotional intelligence and to expand your vocabulary.
I just remember.
Say something, please.
One of our first arguments.
I would love for him to go there.
We had the same like colors on. So this is how I know that
Ask who initiated the argument.
I did.
Oh, okay.
It's a trauma response because there was this. He watches. There was this family.
It's okay.
There was this family that there was 10 of them, and all of them wore the same thing. All the boys wore the same thing, and all the girls. And I was like, I do not want to be that family. There was just some things about that family that I just didn't disagree with, and I was like, I don't want to be walking around because like adults who do that. To those of you who do it, get over it. I think that is so corny. For us to be matching. Now, this is for us because we already look alike. So I'm over it now.
These are his own issues, y'all.
Yeah, this is
Please know.
I just saw that. It just threw me off. You look nice, though.
These are not the feelings and the emotions of marriages for grown folks. This is John
Comments expressed. Yeah,
I don't think anything is wrong with it. I actually think it's so adorable.
Well, we're on one accord because it was on accident.
Yeah, it was on accident.
I just can't see you dressing head to toe. That you wearing blue and I'm wearing blue tie.
I'll work on it, y'all. I'll send a picture soon.
I don't think that's. And they be cussing each other out in the car. And I don't like him. And y'all ain't got the passwords to each other's phone. It's just a bunch of bull to me. That's how I've seen it. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. How we gonna dress alike? We don't like each other. So that's why over the years, I've just seen couples really do that wrong. It's some divorced
It kind of
couples that did
scarred
that.
him. I think he may
Yeah.
have seen some toxic relationships.
Margaret, you don't even see the couple. I'm thinking about a couple right now. She had a sparkly dress. He had a sparkly tie on, and they in the car and they're talking to each other on the way home from the event. That's dumb. That's dumb. Okay, soapbox. Are we almost done?
He's getting off the soapbox now.
No.
Okay.
Did you finish?
Huh?
Air yours out. Did you finish yours?
Oh, we did enough airing. Go ahead.
Okay, number 5. I love this one. We did a whole episode on the power of an apology. This is number 5. Not being able to apologize. Let me sew us up as we get ready to close. As I get ready to close. A heartfelt apology,
yes,
is more valuable than we really realize.
It's more valuable than just trying to have sex over it. It's more valuable than gifts.
Now, apologizing while you're having good sex. That's the devil.
Apologizing before you have good sex.
And then while too. That's okay.
You can apologize again if you want to.
All right.
Yeah. You are feeling spicy tonight.
But I said I'm standing on bit. Don't edit it. But really, an apology, like you said, it is more valuable than material possessions.
Yeah.
Because now, if you just for the streets, male or female, and you just want a gift, you just want a bag, you just want a brick, you want some cologne, you want some perfume, without a heartfelt apology, then I want to say, you're for the streets.
Okay.
Let me say that another way. Your motives are impure.
Right. You really shouldn't be in a long-term relationship.
But for that individual, for you, the emotionally immature individual, to express that you acknowledge what you did hurt the person that you love, and you see it, and want them to know that you see it, and want to know what you can do to restore whatever trust has been breached. That is, if we talking about grown folks business now. Now we just talking about tricking off. We just talking about a jump off. That's a whole nother conversation. We ain't talking to you. But if you're really in the business of building with that individual that you're in love with, that you are in relationship with,
that you're doing life with,
that is irreplaceable. There are some people that are in relationships that don't want a new house, that don't want a new car, that don't want bundles, that don't want a day. They just want you to acknowledge what you did.
Right.
Negro, if you can just acknowledge that's a feminine version. If you can,
he thinks he can speak Spanish.
Just admit what you've done.
That's true.
Now, I hear somebody in the comments saying, "Okay, after you admit what you've done, I need you to do something about what you've done." That's part 2.
That is part 2.
We've sat with couples that have had an epiphany before they sat with us, after they sat with us, or even outside of us, and they have told us, "I apologize to him. I apologize to her because the Lord, my Creator, really showed me the error of my ways and how I first broke. I don't want to say broke his heart, but put distance between me and the Father." And it grieved him because I'm injuring someone whom he created.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And who he loves.
Okay. Yeah. So that has changed relationship. It has changed ours. And if we could offer any level of advice on any of these 6, we got to air that one out. Anything to say about it?
Yes. So a couple of things. Apologizing doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you a monster because you made a mistake. We are all human. We all make mistakes. That's why I think it's so wild when somebody can't apologize, because no one is going to be perfect. And it's possible that I injure you and I'm not even trying to. Most of the time inside of a relationship, you're not being malicious. If you are being malicious, that's a whole nother episode that we need to do.
Episode 33.
Because literally, you didn't wake up this morning and say, "What can I do to hurt Brittany?" I didn't wake up this morning and say, "What can I do to hurt John?" But it doesn't mean that my actions may not hurt you. So if you bring up to me that I caused you some level of harm or pain or discomfort because I'm in the relationship, because I love you, because I know I'm not perfect, my initial response should be, baby, I'm sorry. I never meant to make you feel like that.
Yeah.
What can we do differently next time so you don't feel like that?
Even Eminem wrote that song. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to make you cry. But tonight I'm cleaning out my market. That's right. I'm old. I'm 80s baby. And last but not least, you want to do number 6?
We'll tag team it. Perceiving feedback as criticism. Okay. We went through a season of our life that I feel like is just perfect for this.
You're going to tell all our business.
Yes, okay. It doesn't matter. So we were super toxic in the beginning. If y'all have seen any of our episodes, we speak to this. We don't try to hide it. We're not trying to sugarcoat it. We was a hot mess. We dated for 2, I say 2, he say 3 months, and then we got married. So we really didn't know each other. So there were conversations that should have been had. There's things that should have been known before we got married. But by the grace and mercy of God, we are still here, y'all. 17, almost 18 years later.
We had to say that every episode, 17 years in the game.
Yes.
When I do that.
We are 4 months away from going into our 18th year of marriage. And I think that is so precious because that is crazy. I've been with you longer than my mama.
I was about to say, and we've been married longer than our parents have been married.
Yes.
So we are breaking generational dysfunction and is a disparity. I'm gonna say curses.
Well,
habits, trends.
Yeah, toxic habits that run through our family line. So, we are.
You need to listen to what we got. We got 17. Okay. Wait, 17 years in this generation is really like dog years. So it's really like 30 years in this class.
You know, it's so crazy. People always be like, what? Y'all been married how long?
I don't know.
It's like, yeah, we got married as babies. Our joke became God takes care of babies and fools because we were both when we got married. Thankfully, we can laugh about it now. Yeah, okay, so feedback is criticism. So in our immaturity, we would take what the other person was saying, like, oh, you coming for me, like you trying to cut me to the core, instead of seeing it as an opportunity to grow and become better. So when we learned better, you know how they say, when you learn better, you do better. So I would start conversations like this. Babe, I would like to talk to you, but I first want you to know that I am not your enemy. We in this together. Why did I say that? Because before anything negative can be said that may be triggering because of past arguments, I want to establish out the gate, I love you, I'm here for you, and I am not your enemy. We're on the same side. Because of course, you know, inside of an argument, every other suggestion that can come to mind is going to come to mind. See, she don't like me anymore. She hates me. She don't want to be here. All of those thoughts start flooding our brain. But the truth is what should rise up. So I'm going to start the conversation out by telling you. Now, it's not anything we have to do now, but there was a season where every conversation started like that. I'm not your enemy. I love you, but this is what's going on. Or this is how you made me feel today. Or this is what happened. And vice versa.
If the response to the situation is bigger than the situation, if it lasts longer than the situation, it's a good chance history. It's hysterical.
When you respond hysterically, it's because it's historical.
Say it again.
When you respond hysterically, it is because it is historical. And what that means is you're not really responding to just what is happening currently, but what is happening currently has triggered something from your past. So it's almost as if you're double responding. So you're responding to what's happening now, but you are also responding to every other time you felt that emotion.
Ooh, that's a real. So I think it is important also with perceiving feedback as criticism that we not forget that if you, the emotionally immature individual, have low self-esteem, every kind there is no one or no kind of constructive criticism that is appropriate.
Right.
Because it is all going to be seen as an attack on your identity if your esteem is low.
Right.
And so I think that it is important for us to state that because not everyone has your worst interests at heart.
Right.
There are people that are in your life that want to see you better, and people that want to see you better. Your trainer, your coach, your pastor, your spiritual leader, your finance overseer,
your therapist.
Your therapist, you must receive scrutiny. You must, but the problem usually, and a lot of times, is that we don't trust the individual that is giving it.
Right.
So that's why I said in my first point, how you perceive yourself,
right,
and how you perceive your partner means everything.
right.
That's why we call it's for grown folks.
Pruning is necessary for every single person. You take away the old things so that that person can produce more fruit, but you got to trust that person.
Let me say this. I have two thoughts and I'm trying to. Timing is everything.
Yes.
So this is for the individual who is with the individual that is emotionally immature.
Right.
Just because it is the truth, just because it may be helpful, does not mean that it is the right time
Right.
to deliver it. And it does not mean that the dosage is correct. I can give you 1,000 milligram horse pill and make you open up your mouth and shove it down your throat, and you can't digest it. You can't consume it because it's too much.
Right.
So timing is everything and dosage is everything.
Right. Because, okay, I love the pill example. Come on and pull on the
nurse.
Exactly. Think about an antibiotic. You need it to kill the bacteria that's in your body, but it has to be dosed correctly, or that thing that's supposed to help you becomes toxic to your body.
Say you're a nurse.
But you already know that.
Last point. That kind of thing. Oh, everybody has. Y'all gonna love Marnie. I feel it real coming up. Everybody has a physiological age.
Ooh, and an emotional age, and baby. Come on, talk about it. It needs a few minutes. Air that out.
We gotta go. You got a class tonight.
No, it's okay. Air it out.
I can be. Let's say if I'm the emotionally immature individual, I can be 39 years old in the year of our Lord, 2025. Emotionally. Physically, I'm 39. Right. But emotionally, I might be 12.
Oh, come on.
Emotionally, you might be 40, but
no, naturally you might be 40, but emotionally you may be 10.
I can't hear nobody. So what we got to say this too.
Trauma will freeze you emotionally. Yeah, I know I'm in your head. Trauma will freeze you emotionally. And if you never take the time to deal with that trauma internally in your emotions, you will always respond from that age. Because it literally will just freeze you. It immobilizes you because we are supposed to deal with things. We're not supposed to try to live over them. You know what saying I hate?
What?
Time heals all wounds. No, it does not. That is why there are crazy old people, crazy middle-aged people, crazy young people, because time does not heal all wounds.
If time healed all wounds, and everybody that was in a nursing home would be
whole. Healthy, kicking it, living a better life than us.
Who told us that?
I don't know.
Well, I got to say
somebody who didn't feel good.
So everybody has a physiological age, a physical age, and an emotional age. Right. You may be grown, and that's why we say marriage is for grown folks, and we're not talking about physical age. Right. We're talking about your emotional age. So what do 12-year-olds do when they don't get their way?
They throw a fit.
What do 5-year-olds do when they don't get what they want? I was at work the other day and this child wanted something in the lobby, and this kid just started throwing a fit, and the mama was like, shh, the kid was embarrassing the mama, and the mama bought the item. We in the lobby, and I'm saying, I just was passing through, and I said, he won. I wanted to drill it into this mom. He beat you. You just got played.
Not only did he beat you, you taught him that behavior will get him what he wants. I'm just saying. I think that's what people don't realize. So even in a relationship, if I jump out on the ledge and I say, you know what, I know I'm struggling with vulnerability. So for the person who's supposed to be emotionally mature in the relationship, because I know couples gonna watch this and one person gonna be thinking, oh, I'm good, but they need that work. So here is a moment to self-reflect. If the person who is emotionally immature, if they decide, you know what, I'm gonna jump out on this limb, I'm gonna be vulnerable, I'm gonna open up, I'm gonna do things better, and your response teaches them something. You've said it before in episodes before. Men talk. Oh, yeah. But men will choose not to talk because of the response they received when they chose to be vulnerable. It's the same thing. It goes both ways.
And sometimes this is why this is so good to get it as early in your relationship and in your life as possible. Last point is because like there are some people who will give you a lot of chances. You give a lot. She's hard on the outside, but she's soft as Charmin toilet paper on the inside. My toxicity shows up a little different. I'm not a bluffer. If I tell you I'm gonna leave, but this is the real. If I tell you I'm gonna leave, I'm not bluffing. I'm not telling you I'm gonna leave to make you. I'm telling you it's probably nothing you're gonna be able to do after it already been set in my heart. By the time I say if you don't stop, I'm gonna leave, I probably already left.
This is true.
I'm just trying. That's the Capricorn in me.
His cutoff game is strong, y'all.
My biological daddy hit me with that real good. So that switch, I'm in therapy. I'm in therapy.
You gotta switch. If you flip that switch, baby, the dumpster is gone.
What I'm saying is that there are people that don't play about certain areas of boundaries in their life. There are some people that let you play with their cat, their dog, let you play with their garden, and let you play with their car. But there are certain areas in certain people's life. Hell, you're not gonna play with my esteem. You're not gonna play with my hair. It's just some places in people's life that when they find out somebody romantically, platonically, family, religion wise, office wise is playing, oh hell no. You playing? What? Life is filled with swift transition.
I'm a chance giver, so that's why he feels so emotionally involved about it. For me, I'm like,
we yin and yang on that.
Let's give him another opportunity.
Now,
but you know what? That's why we good for each other.
It is.
Because I'll convince you to give people another chance. And you'll be like, and you'll convince me enough is enough. Stop playing.
And then sometimes the roles reverse.
Right. So sometimes I have to be like, they playing games.
Some days I wake up on violence. And some days she wake up on violence. So we put our...
Neither one of us wake up on violence.
We do it. We put our backs up against each other. So we have to put our heads in.
You are crazy. Okay, he promised that we would talk about pride, so we're going to hit it real quick.
Oh, I thought we did. So,
define it.
Pride is really a response to something that has happened. Pride is the aftermath. Pride, if the building burned down, pride would be the ashes that remain. Pride is the leftovers. The event that happened, somebody lit the house on fire.
Right.
So it is, you should investigate not the pride. Pride is the response to what happened. But what we want to find out is what was the event or the circumstance or the initial injury that first set it up.
What was the seed that was planted?
So pride is the response. And I think that in our relationships, in a myriad of injuries and circumstances that happen, a lot of times we get fixated on the byproduct and not what really happened. Husband has an affair on the wife. Wife has an affair on the husband. You find something that shouldn't be in the phone, and we fixate on the contents and not what the contents are there for. Now, I say that is right. I heard somebody say, "Oh, it shouldn't have been." But what is the behavior?
What's in the soil?
So the individual is an alcoholic. Okay, yes, they are an alcoholic. Anything is possible.
Yes, you're crazy, boy.
Anything is possible. But why? What are you using the alcohol to numb? What are you trying to silence?
When was this behavior birthed in your life?
And who did you see? Come on now. Who did you?
Yeah, who did you see using it to do the same thing?
Now, I don't have to worry about being on alcohol because my family, they say sanctified. I mean, I probably saw them drink wine just one time, unless they was doing it. But I didn't grow up around a whole bunch of drinking and carrying on.
Okay. What he doing is trying to throw a shot.
No. My
family.
Okay, I'm about to say, what you talking about?
My family was. Well, half of my family was and half was.
Yes, you don't have to worry about me
climbing. Half of my
climbing
family was like really, really saved, like you saying, but the other half of my family, they turned up and had a good time.
See, yin and yang. Now, there's some areas that you can't put me around that I have to. 17 years in the game. I hope that I always keep saying, we hope that I know one of this.
Two became one. You can say,
listen,
both of us.
It. Okay. It hopes that.
It hopes that.
We know one of these 6. We didn't drop 6 heavy ones on you.
Yeah.
We unload the clip tonight.
We did.
I'm excited.
But if y'all have questions or comments, drop them. We'll answer them.
Email us. I think our email, we just added our email address to the Marriages for Grown Folks I think it's gmail.com. It's in the description. Email us if you have a question, a comment. We need to put our cash up on this one. I just think that
a topic that y'all want us to talk about. We'd be happy to do it.
We'll do it. We'll do it. We got some things coming up. Q&A. Yeah, you know what? Next time we're going to be live. We got to figure out a way to do it, to get your questions in, because sometimes y'all be asking questions I need to think about. So like this, if you have gotten to the end, if you're still watching this and you're supposed to be working, we won't tell your employer. We won't. Just like it. Just share it. Send it to somebody.
And subscribe.
And so we'll see you next time. There's one thing that I forgot to tell them.
Marriage is for grown folks.
Anything's possible.
Really?
Okay.
You just gonna keep on saying
if you only believe.